The huge alien ship hovered over New York City. It had been there for 3 days. People pointed and stared. Some were scared. Others were excited. No one knew what the aliens wanted. Daniel Carter watched the ship from his apartment window. He was a soldier who had fought in many wars. Now he taught other soldiers how to fight. Daniel was tall with short brown hair and strong arms. A scar ran down his left cheek from an old battle. The phone rang. Daniel picked it up. "Carter here," he said. "Lieutenant Carter, this is General Phillips. You need to come to headquarters. Now, the aliens have made contact. They want to talk to our military leaders." Daniel grabbed his uniform and car keys. 30 minutes later, he sat in a large room with 50 other military people from around the world. They all looked nervous, General. Phillips walked in with a strange creature. It was tall, about 7 feet, with blue skin that seemed to glow. It had 4 arms and 3 large eyes that blinked sideways. Everyone in the room became very quiet. "This is Ambassador Zill from the Galactic Union," said General Phillips. "They have a request for Earth." The alien stepped forward. Its voice was deep but clear. "Thank you for meeting with me," said Zill. "My people have watched your planet for many years. We face a terrible enemy called the Vex. They destroy every world they find. They will reach your solar system in 5 years. People in the room started to whisper to each other. General Phillips raised his hand for quiet. "We can help you fight the Vex," Zill continued. "We have better ships and weapons than you. But we do not know how to fight well. Your people have fought more wars in your short history than most alien races fight in thousands of years. We need you to teach us." Daniel looked around the room. Some people seemed angry, others looked proud. "What exactly do you want from us?" asked General Phillips. "We want 100 of your best military teachers to come to our main ship. You will teach our soldiers how to fight. In return, we will give you technology to help defend your world from the Vex." 2 weeks later, Daniel stood in line with 99 other military teachers. They came from all parts of Earth. Next to Daniel stood Sergeant Lisa Brown, an expert in using bombs and explosives. She had short red hair and quick eyes. On his other side was Captain Joe Ramirez, who knew more about battle plans than anyone Daniel had ever met. "Are you scared?" Lisa asked Daniel. "A little," he said. "But I'm more curious. What kind of aliens need humans to teach them about war?" "Peaceful ones," said Joe. "Maybe they never needed to fight before." A large silver shuttle landed in front of them. Its door opened without a sound. Ambassador Zill stepped out. "Welcome, teachers of Earth," said Zill. "Please come aboard. Our main ship is waiting in orbit." Daniel, Lisa, and Joe walked up the ramp together. The inside of the shuttle was bigger than it looked from outside. The seats were soft and adjusted to fit their bodies perfectly. Daniel looked out the window as the shuttle took off. The ground got smaller and smaller. Soon he could see the curve of Earth below them. "I never thought I would leave Earth," said Lisa. "My kids are going to be so jealous." The shuttle flew higher until the blue sky turned black. Stars appeared. And then Daniel saw the main alien ship. It was enormous, at least 10 miles long. It looked like a giant crystal that changed colors as they got closer. "That's bigger than some cities," said Joe. The shuttle entered an opening in the side of the great ship. They landed in a huge room where hundreds of aliens waited. They were different colors and shapes. Some had many arms. Others had wings. All of them watched the humans with curious eyes. Ambassador Zill led the humans through the crowd to a large meeting room. The walls seemed to be made of flowing water that somehow stayed in place. Chairs appeared from the floor as they entered. "Please sit," said Zill. "Our leader wishes to speak with you." A screen appeared in the air. On it was an alien with gold skin and 6 eyes. "People of Earth," said the alien. "I am High Commander Vox of the Galactic Union. Thank you for coming to our aid. The enemy we face, the Vex, has destroyed 12 of our worlds. We are a peaceful people. In our 10,000 years of space travel, we have had only 3 small wars." Daniel leaned over to Lisa. 3 wars in 10,000 years? No wonder they need help. We will divide you into teaching groups, continued Vox. Each group will work with 50 of our soldiers. You will have 3 Earth months to prepare them for battle. The Vex scout ships will reach our border worlds. By then, after the meeting, aliens led the humans to their rooms. Daniel's room was comfortable with a bed that felt like a cloud. A window showed the stars outside. Earth was a small blue dot in the distance. The next morning, Daniel met his teaching group. There were 10 humans, including Lisa and Joe. They were taken to a large training room where 50 aliens waited. An alien with red skin and a tail stepped forward. I am Captain Crix. These are your students. We are ready to learn how to fight like humans. Daniel looked at the aliens. They stood straight and seemed eager. None of them had ever been in a real battle. They had never seen their friends die. They had never killed an enemy. The first thing you need to understand, said Daniel, is that war is terrible. There's nothing good about it. We humans don't fight because we want to. We fight because sometimes we have to. Some of the aliens looked confused. Others nodded. Today, Daniel continued, we will show you Earth's war history. You need to see what real war looks like. Joe set up a screen that showed pictures from Earth's wars. There were soldiers from ancient Rome, knights from the Middle Ages, and troops. From World War I and II, the aliens watched with wide eyes. Your species has fought so many wars, said Captain Crix. How do you bear it? We bear it because the alternative is worse, said Lisa. If you don't fight when you have to, everything you love can be destroyed. As the day went on, 5 of the alien students left the room. They could not watch anymore. By the end of the week, 10 more had quit. They're not ready, Joe said to Daniel as they ate dinner in the human dining room. Some of them are, said Daniel. The ones who stayed are starting to understand. They know what's coming. They know they have to be ready. Daniel looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Vex were coming. Peaceful aliens who had never known war were about to face an enemy that only wanted to destroy. And humans who knew war all too well were their only hope. We'll make them ready, Daniel said. We have to. 2 weeks passed on the giant alien ship. Daniel and the other humans worked hard to teach the aliens about war. Every day, more alien students left the training. They could not handle seeing the brutal fights from Earth's past. Captain Crix stayed. He was one of the few aliens who seemed to understand why the training was important. One day after class, he spoke to Daniel. Your Earth wars are horrible, said Crix. But I see why you fight. You protect your homes and families. Daniel nodded. That's right. We don't want war. But sometimes we must fight to survive. My people have been lucky, said Crix. We have had peace for so long that we forgot what danger feels like. But the Vex will not give us a choice. We must learn to fight, or we will all die. The next morning, Commander Zill called all the humans to a big meeting room. The alien leader looked worried. We have a problem, said Zill. Half of our soldier trainees have quit. They say they cannot learn human war methods. They say it goes against everything our people believe. Lisa raised her hand. With respect, Commander, your people need to understand something. The Vex won't care about your beliefs. They won't stop because you ask nicely. Sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. Joe nodded. The soldiers who stayed are learning well. Focus on them. They will be your best fighters. Zill thought for a moment. Very well. We will continue with the soldiers we have, but we need to speed up the training. Our scouts report that Vex ships are moving faster than we expected. They could attack our outer worlds in just 6 weeks. The training got harder after that. Daniel, Lisa, and Joe pushed their alien students every day. They taught them how to use weapons. They showed them how to make battle plans. They trained them to work together as a team. One day, Daniel set up a practice fight. Half the aliens pretended to be Vex attackers. The other half had to defend a small base. Captain Crix led the defenders. At first, Crix's team tried to talk to the attackers. They offered peace. But Daniel had told the Vex team to attack no matter what. They charged forward. Crix and his team were not ready. They lost the fight quickly. "Do you see?" Daniel asked after the practice. "The Vex won't talk. They won't negotiate. You must be ready to fight from the first moment." Crix looked down. "It is hard for us to think this way, but I understand." The next day, they tried the practice fight again. This time, Crix and his team were different. They set up defenses. They made a plan. When the Vex attacked, Crix's team fought back hard. They won the fight. Daniel smiled. "Good job, you're learning." Lisa created a special training program to teach the aliens about Earth weapons. Joe taught them about famous Earth battles and why some armies won while others lost. The aliens who stayed in the program worked very hard. They wanted to learn. They knew their worlds were in danger. One night, Daniel couldn't sleep. He went to the ship's observation deck to look at the stars. Lisa was already there. "Can't sleep either?" she asked. "No," said Daniel. "I keep thinking about what we're doing here. We're teaching peaceful beings how to kill, is that right?" Lisa sighed. "I ask myself that same question. But I think about it this way. We're teaching them to protect themselves. If they don't learn to fight, the Vex will destroy them all." "I know," said Daniel. "But seeing them change ... it's hard. They were so innocent when we arrived. Now they're becoming more like us." "Not all of us are killers," said Lisa. "We fight when we have to. That's what they need to learn." A noise made them turn around. Captain Crix stood in the doorway. "I hope I'm not interrupting," he said. "Not at all," said Daniel. "What brings you here?" Crix walked to the window and looked at the stars. "I've been studying Earth's history more. So many wars, so much death, but also so much courage." "Yes," said Lisa, "humans can be brave when we need to be." "I watched a video about something called World War II, said Crix. "Millions of your people died, but you kept fighting because you had to stop the evil ones." Daniel nodded. "Sometimes there's no choice." "I understand that now," said Crix. "When I first saw your war videos, I was shocked. I almost left like the others, but then I thought about my home world, my family. If I don't learn to fight, who will protect them?" The next day, Commander Zill called another meeting. This time his face was very serious. "We have bad news," said Zill. "The Vex have attacked one of our outer worlds. Our ships tried to talk to them. They tried to offer peace. The Vex destroyed them without talking. The room was silent. Then Captain Crix stood up. "We are ready to fight," he said. "Not all of us, but those who stayed in the training. We understand now what must be done." Commander Zill looked at the humans. "Is this true? Are they ready?" Daniel thought for a moment. "They're not fully trained, but they understand the most important thing. Sometimes you must fight to protect what you love. Then prepare your students." "Saad Zill, in 3 days we will send ships to defend our next world. Your students will be on those ships." After the meeting, Daniel, Lisa, and Joe gathered their alien students. Now there were only 25 in their group. Half had left. But those who remained stood tall and strong. "The time for training is almost over," said Daniel. "Soon you will face real enemies, real danger." "We are ready," said Captain Crix. "You have taught us well." Daniel looked at the alien soldiers. They were different now. They stood straighter. Their eyes were harder. They had seen the truth of war and accepted it. "Remember why you fight," said Daniel. "Not for glory. Not because you enjoy it. You fight to protect your homes, your families, your way of life." The aliens nodded. They understood. In 3 days they would face the real enemy. And Daniel wondered how many would come back. The day before the battle, Daniel, Lisa, and Joe helped their alien students prepare. They checked weapons and went over battle plans one last time. The aliens who had stayed in training were nervous but ready. Commander Zill called Daniel to his private room. The blue alien looked tired. "I need to show you something," said Zill. He touched a panel on the wall. A large screen appeared with a video playing. It showed a planet with green oceans and purple land. Then strange ships appeared near the planet. They looked like dark stars with long, sharp points. The ship shot red beams at the planet. Parts of the planet began to burn. "This is what happened to our outer world," said Zill. "The Vex attacked 3 days ago. We lost contact with everyone." On the planet, Daniel watched in horror as the beautiful world turned black and red. How many people lived there? 2 million, said Zill. His voice was sad. They were peaceful farmers and scientists. They had no weapons, no way to fight back. "This is why we're here," said Daniel. "To make sure this doesn't happen again." Zill nodded. "Yes, but I worry. Half of our soldiers quit the training. Will the rest be enough?" "Quality matters more than quantity," said Daniel. "The soldiers who stayed are committed. They understand what they're fighting for." The next morning, Daniel woke up early. Today was the day. The alien soldiers would face real battle for the first time. He met Lisa and Joe in the dining room. "Did you sleep?" asked Lisa. "Not much," said Daniel. "I keep thinking about those alien ships. The Vex, they destroyed an entire world without mercy. Our students need to be ready for that kind of enemy," said Joe. "No mercy, no fear." They went to meet their students in the ship's main hangar. 10 smaller battleships waited there. Captain Crix and the other alien soldiers stood in meat lines. They wore new armor that shined under the lights. Each carried a weapon that looked like a silver tube. Commander Zill stood on a platform above them. "Today we defend Xylar, our farming world. The Vex ships are approaching it now. Our job is to stop them before they can attack the planet." Daniel, Lisa, and Joe would go with the aliens as advisors. They would not fight, but they would help with battle plans and decisions. Daniel went with Captain Crix and 5 other aliens on a ship called Star Defender. Lisa and Joe went on different ships with other groups of aliens. The inside of the battleship was clean and bright. It had comfortable chairs that moved to fit each person perfectly. Captain Crix sat in the main control chair. Daniel sat next to him. "Are you ready?" Daniel asked. Crix's hands shook slightly as he touched the control panel. "I have never fought before, never hurt anyone. But I think of those 2 million people who died, and I know what I must do." The battleships left the main ship and flew into space. Daniel looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Vex were coming. Monsters who destroyed worlds without talking first. After 2 hours, the ship's computer made a noise. "Enemy ships detected," it said in a calm voice on the main screen. Daniel saw 5 Vex ships. They looked even more terrible in person than in the video. Black with sharp points like sea creatures made of shadows. "Battle formation," said Captain Crix to the other alien ships. "Remember your training." The alien ships moved into the formation Joe had taught them. 3 ships in front, 4 on the sides, 3 in back. This way, they could attack from multiple directions. The Vex ships came closer. They did not slow down. They did not send any messages. They just came straight for the alien ships. "They're not even trying to talk," said one of the aliens on the ship. "Just like the humans said." "Weapons ready," said Captain Crix. His voice was strong now, no more shaking. "Fire when they enter range." The Vex ships came closer. When they were close enough, Captain Crix gave the order. "Fire!" All 10 alien ships fired at once. Bright blue beams shot toward the Vex ships. 2 of the Vex ships were hit badly. They spun away, damaged. But the other 3 kept coming. The Vex fired back. Red beams sliced through space. One of the alien ships was hit and exploded in a ball of fire. "Evasive action!" shouted Daniel. "Don't stay in one place." Captain Crix moved their ship quickly to the side. The Vex beam missed them by inches. "Circle around," said Daniel. "Attack from behind." Captain Crix did as Daniel suggested. Their ship and 2 others went around the Vex ships and attacked from behind. The Vex didn't expect this. 2 more Vex ships were damaged, but the battle was not over. The last Vex ship fired again and hit another alien ship. That ship didn't explode, but its engines stopped working. "Protect the damaged ship," ordered Captain Crix. Three alien ships moved to help their friends. The Vex ship turned to attack the helpless alien ship. But before it could fire, Captain Crick's ship shot one last time. The blue beam hit the Vex ship in a weak spot. The Vex ship broke apart and exploded. The battle was over. The aliens had won, but at a cost. One ship destroyed. Another damaged. 7 aliens dead. On the way back to the main ship, Captain Crick's was quiet. Daniel sat with him. "You did well," said Daniel. "You saved that planet. We lost friends," said Crick's. "I never thought it would feel like this. Empty inside." "That's war," said Daniel. "Even when you win, you lose something." When they returned to the main ship, Commander Zill met them. The alien leader looked both happy and sad. "You did it," said Zill. "You saved Zellar. 2 million people will live because of you." The alien soldiers stood tall, but their eyes showed their pain. They had won, but they had changed forever. They were no longer the same peaceful beings. They now knew the cost of war. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep again. He went to the observation deck and found Captain Crick's there, looking at the stars. "Do you think we can win this war?" asked K.R. Ix. Daniel thought for a moment. "I don't know, the Vex are strong." "But you proved today that they can be beaten." "Half of our soldiers walked away from training," said Crix. "But maybe that's okay. Maybe we only need half." "The half who understand that sometimes you must fight," Daniel nodded. "The half who are willing to bear the pain of war to protect others." Together they looked out at the stars, thinking about the battles to come. 1 month passed since the first battle. The alien soldiers who had stayed in training became better fighters. They won 3 more battles against the Vex. Each time they lost some friends. But each time they saved many more lives. Daniel watched. The aliens change. They move differently now. Their steps were firmer. Their eyes were sharper. They no longer hesitated when it was time to fight. One day, Commander Zill called Daniel, Lisa, and Joe to a meeting. The commander looked worried. "Our scouts have found something bad," said Zill. "The Vex have a huge ship coming. Much bigger than anything we've seen before. It carries thousands of smaller ships." Lisa frowned. "That's not good." "How many ships do we have?" 50 battleships, said Zill. "And our main ship? It's not enough." Joe thought for a moment. "We need more fighters. What about the aliens who left the training?" Zill shook his head. "They still refuse to fight. They say they would rather die than become like humans." Daniel had an idea. "Let me talk to them. Maybe they'll listen to me." Later that day, Daniel stood before 200 aliens who had quit the training. They looked at him with cold eyes. "I know you don't want to fight," said Daniel. "I know you think war is wrong, and you're right. War is terrible." The aliens watched him quietly. "But sometimes not fighting is worse," Daniel continued. "The Vex don't care if you want peace. They will kill you anyway. They will kill your families, your children." An alien with yellow skin stood up. "We have watched your Earth history. Your people kill each other over land, over money, over different beliefs. We don't want to be like that." Daniel nodded. "Yes, humans have fought for bad reasons. But we also fight for good reasons. To protect our loved ones. To stop evil. Right now, you need to fight for those good reasons." Another alien stood up. "Even if we wanted to help, we didn't finish the training. We don't know how to fight." "We can teach you the basics," said Daniel. "Enough to help." "We don't have much time. The big Vex ship will be here in 5 days." The aliens talked among themselves. Finally, the yellow alien spoke again. "We will think about what you said." The next morning, 50 of the aliens who had quit came back to training. It wasn't all of them, but it was better than none. Daniel, Lisa, and Joe quickly taught them the most important fighting skills. Captain Crix helped too. He talked to the returning aliens. "I understand your feelings," he said to them. "I felt the same way when I first saw human war history, but now I understand. Sometimes fighting is the only way to save lives." 4 days later, all the ships were ready. 100 alien ships would face the giant Vex vessel and its fleet. It wasn't enough, but it was all they had. Daniel, Lisa, and Joe would each go on different ships to help the aliens during the battle. Daniel went with Captain Crix again on the Star Defender. As they prepared to leave, Commander Zill spoke to all the fighters. "This will be our hardest battle," said Zill. "The Vex ship is heading for our homeworld, Zenter. 5 billion people live there. If we fail, they all die." The ships left the main ship and flew toward the place where they would meet the Vex. Everyone was quiet. They knew this might be their last day alive. After several hours, they saw the Vex ship on their screens. It was enormous, like a floating black mountain. "That's at least 10 times bigger than our main ship," said an alien named Plex who operated the sensors. "Size isn't everything," said Daniel. "Remember your training. Use smart tactics. Hit them where they're weak." Captain Crix looked at the giant ship. "Where is a ship that big weak?" Daniel thought for a moment. "Usually at the engines or the control center. But we need to get closer to scan it properly." Captain Crix ordered the ship to move closer to the giant Vex vessel. They stayed behind an empty moon so the Vex wouldn't see them. "Scan complete," said Plex. "The ship has a main power core near the back. If we hit it hard enough, the whole ship might stop working." "We need to tell the other ships," said Captain Crix. He sent a message to all the alien fighters. Just then, the Vex ship released thousands of smaller ships. They looked like black stars flying toward the alien fleet. "They've seen us," said Crix. "Battle positions." The alien ships formed groups as Lisa had taught them. Some would fight the small Vex ships. Others would try to reach the big ships. Power core. The battle began. The space around them filled with ships and weapons fire. Blue beams from the alien ships crossed with red beams from the Vex. Captain Crix's ship flew with 20 others toward the giant Vex vessel. They had to reach the power core, but hundreds of small Vex ships blocked their way. "We need to break through," said Daniel. "Form a wedge shape. Strongest ships in front." The alien ships moved into a V shape with the strongest ships at the point. They pushed forward, firing at any Vex ship that came close. Many alien ships were hit. Some exploded. Others spun away, damaged. But the rest kept going. "We're almost there," said Captain Crix. "I can see the power core." The giant Vex ship started to turn. It was trying to protect its weak spot, but it moved slowly because of its size. "Now's our chance," said Daniel. "All ships, fire at the power core." 20 alien ships fired at once. Blue beams hit the same spot on the giant Vex ship. The black surface cracked, showing bright light inside. "Again!" shouted Captain Crix. They fired again and again. The cracks grew larger. Suddenly, a huge explosion came from inside the giant ship. Then another and another. "We did it," said Plex. "The power core is breaking apart." The giant Vex ship started to fall apart. The small Vex ships around it seemed confused. Some crashed into each other. Others flew away. "Tell all our ships to get back," said Daniel. "That thing is going to explode big," Captain Crix sent the message. The alien ships turned and flew away from the dying Vex vessel. Behind them, the giant ship exploded in a huge ball of light and fire. The battle was over. The aliens had won. But the cost was high. Half their ships were destroyed or damaged. Many good fighters were dead. When they returned to the main ship, Commander Zill was waiting. The commander looked tired but happy. "You saved our home world," said Zill. 5 billion people will live because of what you did today." Captain Crix nodded, but his eyes were sad. "Many of us died," "Yes," said Zill. "But you stopped the Vex, for now, at least." That night, Daniel found Crix on the observation deck again. The alien captain was watching the stars. "Do you think they'll come back?" asked Crix. "Probably," said Daniel. "Enemies like the Vex don't give up easily." "Then we'll be ready," said Crix, "those of us who stayed. And maybe more will join us now that they've seen what happens when no one fights back." Daniel nodded. "The ones who understand that sometimes you have to fight. The ones who can bear that burden. The ones who watched Earth's war history," said Crix, and didn't walk away. 3 months passed since the big battle. The aliens rebuilt their fleet. Many who had quit training came back after seeing how the Vex attacked their worlds. They were ready to fight now. Daniel, Lisa, and Joe had been away from Earth for a long time. They missed their homes and families, but they knew their work was important. They had helped the aliens learn to defend themselves. One day, Commander Zill called all the humans to the main meeting room. The alien leader looked different, stronger, more confident. "My friends," said Zill, "we have good news. Our deep space scouts report that the Vex are leaving our part of space. They are moving away." Everyone cheered. Lisa smiled at Daniel. "We did it. We scared them off. For now," said Joe. "They might come back someday." Commander Zill raised his hand for quiet. "We want to thank you humans for all you have taught us. Without you, our worlds would be gone. Billions of our people would be dead." Captain Crick stepped forward. He looked different too. His body was covered in small scars from battles. His eyes were older and wiser. "When you first showed us Earth's war history, half of us walked out," said Crix. "We thought you were monsters who loved fighting. Now we understand. You don't love war. You just know that sometimes you must fight to protect what matters." Daniel nodded. "That's right. War is terrible, but sometimes not fighting is worse." "We have learned this hard lesson," said Crix, "and we will not forget it." Commander Zill touched a panel on the wall. A large screen appeared showing a beautiful blue and green planet. It was Earth. "It is time for you to go home," said Zill. "We will take you back to Earth, but first we have something to give you." Another alien brought in a small silver box. Zill opened it and took out a glowing blue crystal. "This contains technology that will help Earth defend itself," said Zill. "The Vex might find your world someday. With this you can build shields too. Protect your cities." Daniel took the crystal carefully. "Thank you, this will help us a lot." "We also have personal gifts for each of you," said Crix. He gave Daniel, Lisa, and Joe each a small metal disc with strange symbols. "These will let you talk to us across space. We are now allies. If you ever need help, call us." The next day, the humans packed their things. They were going home. Before they left, they said goodbye to the aliens they had trained. Many aliens came to see them off, even some who had walked out of training at the beginning. They understood now why the humans had taught them such hard lessons. Captain Crix walked with Daniel to the shuttle that would take them to Earth. "I will miss you, teacher," said Crix. "You're not just a student anymore," said Daniel. "You're a leader now. You'll teach others what you've learned?" Crix nodded. "Yes, and I will make sure we never forget the cost of peace. It must be protected. Sometimes with force." Daniel looked at the alien who had become his friend. "Just remember why you fight. Not for power or anger, but to protect your people and their way of life." "We will remember," said Crix. "Half of us walked away when we saw Earth's wars, but half of us stayed, and that was enough." The humans boarded the shuttle. As it took off, they looked back at the giant alien ship that had been their home for many months. Hundreds of aliens stood at the windows, watching them go. The shuttle flew toward Earth. After a long journey, they saw their blue planet growing larger in the windows. "It looks so peaceful from here," said Lisa. "Hard to believe. We've had so many wars." "Maybe there will be fewer in the future," said Joe. "With the alien technology, we can protect ourselves better." The shuttle landed in a field near where they had first left Earth. Military vehicles were waiting for them. General Phillips was there too. "Welcome home," said the general. "How did it go? Did you teach the aliens to fight?" Daniel handed him the crystal. "We taught them, and they taught us too." "What do you mean?" asked the general. "They reminded us why we fight," said Daniel. "Not because we want to, but because sometimes we have to protect what matters." Later that week, Daniel visited his old apartment. Everything was just as he had left it, but he felt different. He had seen other worlds. He had helped save billions of lives. Dottie went to the window and looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, Captain Crix and the other aliens were protecting their worlds. They had learned the hard lessons of war. Half had walked away, but half had stayed. And that was enough. Daniel's phone rang. It was General Phillips. We need you at headquarters, said the general. The president wants to talk about the alien technology. And there's something else. Our telescopes have spotted another alien ship coming toward Earth, not Vex, not Concordat, something new. I'll be right there, said Daniel. He took one last. Look at the stars. The universe was bigger and more dangerous than most people knew. But Earth had friends now. And Earth knew how to protect itself. As Daniel left his apartment, he felt the small metal disc in his pocket. If Earth needed help, they could call their new allies. The aliens who had watched Earth's war history. The half who had not walked away. Daniel smiled. Sometimes half was enough. Sometimes half could save the world. 2 days later, Daniel stood with Lisa Joe and General Phillips as a new alien ship landed on Earth. These aliens were tall with red skin and 4 eyes. They looked scared. We come seeking help, said their leader. Our worlds are under attack by the Vex. We heard that you taught the Concordat how to fight. Will you teach us too? Daniel looked at Lisa and Joe. They nodded. Yes, said Daniel. We will teach you, but I must warn you. Earth's war history is not easy to watch. Some of you may walk away. That is a risk we must take, said the alien leader. Our survival depends on it. As they walked toward the meeting room where they would begin the training, Daniel thought about Captain Crix and the others who had stayed. The ones who had learned that peace sometimes requires strength to defend it. Half might walk away, but half would stay. And sometimes half was enough to change the stars.